and make way for the rapid formation of a national unity government, including the opposition. While calling for an end to the violence by all sides, it lays blame primarily on the Syrian authorities, which are strongly condemned for continued widespread and systematic violations of human rights and fundamental freedoms. The draft urges accountability for those guilty of human rights violation, but does not specifically mention the International Criminal Court. There is also a request for Secretary General Ban Ki-moon to appoint a special envoy to promote a peaceful solution to the crisis, a proposal that Arab League Secretary General Nabil al-Arabi made earlier this week. The diplomatic move came as tanks and artillery continued to bombard parts of the central city of Homs, a focus of anti-government protests. Opposition activists said the Baba district was hit by mortars on Saturday morning and that army snipers had been deployed on rooftops. After a week under shell fire and virtual siege, conditions in Homs are reported to be getting desperate, with basic supplies running low. Activists say at least 52 people were killed across the country by security forces, including 16 in Homs and 15 in suburbs of Damascus on Friday. Human rights group says more than 7,000 have died since the uprising began in March. The government says at least 2,000 members of the security forces have been killed combating armed gangs and terrorists.
A dangerous game of brinkmanship over billions of gallons of oil, seizing tankers, shutting down wells have unfolded between Sudan and the breakaway nation of South Sudan as the peace between the nations threatens to break. The disputed frontier separating Sudan from its newly independent neighbor South Sudan is now probably the most incendiary fault line in Africa, with two big armies that fought each other for generations massing on either side. After emergency talks to prevent a full-fledged conflict, the two sides agreed to a vague non-aggression pact late on Friday, yielding to intense pressure from the African Union, the United States and China, a major oil partner for both sides, to move beyond the language and tactics of mutual destruction. In May, the two sides agreed to demilitarize the contested border. But just days after that, Sudan began heavy bombardment along the border, occasionally dropping bombs in the south, while the South Sudanese rushed in weapons to rebel allies fighting just across the divide. The border area has been an important point for years because that is where most of the oil lies. Both sides desperately need oil to run their governments, feed their people and stamp out spreading rebellions. The conundrum of two Sudans is that 75% of the oil is in the south, just across the border, but the pipeline to export it runs through the north. Because of this, oil was once thought to be the glue that would hold the two nations together and prevent a conflict. In business, trade ministers of the SAARC member states are to meet in Islamabad on Wednesday to work on trimming the sensitive lists and institutionalize agreement on trade and service agreement among the signatories. Trade officials said the ensuing meeting of SAARC trade ministers is likely to call up on the developing nations to trim down their respective sensitive lists to zero by the next 3 years, while sensitive lists of LDCs by next 8 years. SAARC agreement on trade and service was signed by the member states on April 2011, but members except India have shown little willingness to implement the full accord. Meanwhile, Bangladesh has decided to open up only the telecommunication and tourism sectors under SADIS. Besides Pakistan, Sri Lanka and Nepal have also recently submitted their respective request lists to Bangladesh. However, the areas sought by these countries could not be known. According to official figures, rising energy prices keep German inflation high at 2.1% in January 2012. The inflation rate compares with 2.3% for the whole of 2011 and 1.1% in 2010. The figures show Germany moving slowly away from its 2008 peak of 2.6%. The latest results keeps Germany outside the European Central Bank ECB's target rate for Eurozone inflation. The ECB's target rate is close to but below 2%. Excluding energy prices, inflation would have been 1.5%. Energy prices, including motor fuels, rose 7.2% at the start of the year. And
Indian sports, Asian Football Federation decides to move the AFC Cup playoff match between local sides Victory Sports Club and Yemeni side Al Hilal to the Maldives. The match of Al Hilal and Victory was first scheduled to be played on the 18th of this month in Yemen. FAM General Secretary Shah Ismail said since FIFA was not content with the security of Yemen, the venue has now been changed. Shah said additionally, President of FAM Ali Azam requested AFC to hold the match in the Maldives. Shah also mentioned that Azam is working towards finding 2 slots in group stage rather than the playoffs. Nafra Jonal Sports Club secures a place in the final of the 4th VAM President's Cup volleyball tournament. They beat PK in the semi-final, played winning by 3 sets. Ashit Nazima was awarded the most valuable player of the match. PK came in 3rd of the tournament, in which 4 other teams are also taking part. Juvenile will play Police Club in the finals of the tournament. The match will be played on the 12th of this month. Barca coach Pep Guardiola has issued a rallying cry to his team ahead of the trip to Osasuna in La Liga. For the first time during his reign, Guardiola's men look set to relinquish the league crown to bitter rival Real Madrid. The Catalans currently trail the outfit from the Spanish capital by 7 points with 17 games remaining, and Guardiola knows that losing further ground this weekend would be disastrous. He told the club's website that the players need to overcome the extreme situation they currently find themselves in La Liga, and that the game at the Reino de Navarra is one of the hardest tests we have left this season. He said that the club was in an extreme situation and that the only good result is victory. Guardiola, who has led Barca to 13 titles since moving up from B-team coach to guide the first 11 in 2008, added that he would not allow his players to give up until the end of the season. Former England coach Fabio Capello denies he was escaping by resigning from the England manager's post. Capello quit on last Wednesday after a meeting with the Football Association chairman David Bernstein over their decision to go over his head and strip John Terry of the England captaincy. The Italian was due to stand down after this summer's Euro 2012 finals, but dismissed suggestions by departing early he had taken the easy way out. Speaking to an Italian television show, he said that wasn't escaping, but left because there was a misunderstanding. Capello's next move has been the subject of some debate, with Inter Milan touted as a likely destination. And that concludes it for this evening. Thanks for being with us from me and the news team. Good night.
Shirit Gurwana Bihamarkas Ilan Malegas Ko Gurwa Mubarata Hatavis